Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday post-Valentine's Day. I welcome you all to this ARC-sponsored event. This is number 2 out of 6, so we are in class number 2. So what is skin in the game? That is knowing how to leverage all your resources to reduce your cost and increase your reach. It is the ARC's intent to sponsor up to 80 exhibitors on their dime. Did you hear that? On their dime, so that you can enjoy what skin in the game is. Now, this is the second session. There are 4 more after this here in Temecula. Each time you attend in person, you can secure a poker chip. We want you to secure 3 poker chips here. And what happens with those 3 poker chips? You get to exhibit at no cost. The ARC will sponsor your booth. That is a $500 savings to you. So we encourage you to come to the classes here. They are every month for the next 4 more to go, excuse me. So remember, come in, sit in, get your poker chip. For those that are virtually attending out of state, we also encourage you to watch all the live streams. If you're from out of state and you watch all the virtual live streams, let us know. Mr. ARC himself, Mr. Albert and ARC will sponsor your booth as well at the event. As a reminder, the event is going to be in Moreno Valley on September 26th. It is the 12th annual Veterans and Small Business Summit. So I encourage you, it is an awesome event to attend. And with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce Ms. Rose Skewis with Calvet. Rose, over to you.
Thank you, Karla. I appreciate this opportunity to speak with everyone. Thank you for also participating. As Karla mentioned, I'm Rose Skewis. I'm Calvet's Office of Business. I work in Calvet Office of Business and Economic Opportunity. Excuse me, I'm going back to my Caltrans days. I'm the SBDC advocate within the Office of Procurement and Contracts. And I've been with the state for 13 years. 8 of those years with Caltrans and 6 now, starting my 6th year with Calvet. And throughout my state career, I have been working either directly with small businesses or certified firms. I've located certified firms, or I've found opportunities for certified firm participation. So again, thank you for being here. Let me go to the next slide. Sorry, Daniel, it's not working for me now. So I'm going to just see if I can do something. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. So here's a little background about what we do. Calvet operates 8 veterans homes throughout the state, and we offer varying levels of care to our residents. We have independent living, assisted living, also known as residential care for the elderly. We offer skilled nursing services for those residents that need a higher level of care. We also offer memory care in some of our homes. Fun fact, our Yountville home actually is in Napa County, and we own Rector Reservoir Wildlife Recreation Area. And also on that property is Rector Reservoir. So we also operate the water treatment plant for Rector Reservoir that provides water to the town of Yountville. We also operate 3 cemeteries, one in Northern California in Igo, which is right outside Redding. We also operate one in Yountville, as well as one in Seaside, California. And I know there is one planned for Southern California, and I think those are still in discussion. We also operate district offices in Los Angeles, San Diego, and Oakland. And we have our headquarters office here in Sacramento. Okay. There we go. Thank you so much, Daniel. So what we purchased. So this slide, it shows that we purchase non-IT, non-information technology goods and services, as well as IT goods and services, construction, and MWR, which is known as morale, welfare, and recreation. So to give you a little detail about the non-IT goods that we purchase, think about what we do. We provide care, residential care for our residents. And so we also need to maintain those facilities for our residents. Approximately 40% of our non-IT goods purchases go to purchasing food or pharmaceuticals, meds for our residents. And the remaining 60% of our funds go towards medical equipment, accessories, and supplies, such as the personal protective equipment that a lot of us have been using, not only the residents, hospital beds, wound care supplies, uniforms, and apparel. Each of our homes also has commercial kitchens, so we purchase food service equipment as well as supplies, janitorial and laundry equipment, cleaning supplies, and that water treatment plant in Yountville. We need water treatment chemicals for that facility. We need curtains, draperies. We purchase building materials and supplies such as flooring, doors, cabinets, plumbing fixtures. We purchase landscaping materials such as aggregate, asphalt, artificial turf, plants, personal care products, wipes, adult diapers, hand sanitizer. We also purchase non-IT services, and approximately 35% of those services go to the healthcare or medical practice kind of services, those specialist medical services, cardiologists, ophthalmologists, oral surgeons for dental care. We also offer temporary and relief medical staffing services. So we need rehabilitation services for our residents, such as occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. We need RNs sometimes. We do have RNs on staff and LVNs, but sometimes we need temporary relief services. We need boiler, chiller, or heating and air conditioning systems, installation, repair, maintenance, appliance installation, as I mentioned, for our kitchens, pest control services, both interior and exterior, heavy or specialty equipment repair and maintenance services, such as tractors, forklifts, and our cemeteries, casket lowering device maintenance and repair. We have elevators that need to be maintained and serviced. Transportation services, we need transportation sometimes to take our residents to their doctor's appointments. Security services, security guards, fire alarm, as well as the suppression inspection services, A&E, architectural and engineering services. And just an FYI, most of these services, when they're contracted, are for 3-year terms. We also need IT goods and services, software maintenance and support, computer hardware, servers, tablets, monitors, scanners, printers, as well as maintenance and support. Computer accessories, mice, keyboards, and all that. Security cameras and access control. We need installation, maintenance, as well as repair. We also need construction services. Flooring replacement is one that happens quite often. ADA restroom remodeling, asphalt repairs, elevator modernization, ADA, American Disabilities Act door hardware installation. So if you're interested in construction type projects, please email me and I'll have my contact information at the end of the presentation, because I just received a new look ahead report, which is a snapshot of projects coming within the next 6 to 12 months for construction. And I just received that this morning. And I mentioned the MWR funds, the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation funds. You know, we celebrate holidays with our residents, and sometimes that means special food or baked goods from a local entity, vendor. We need supplies for art classes. So that, and also when we talk about special events, it's like often there's get-togethers with live music. So if you're a band, you know, reach out and we'll connect you with the home. So as far as point of contact for our purchases, our non-IT goods purchases are decentralized, which means each of our homes buy their own non-IT goods, but reach out to me. Again, I want to make sure you're taken care of, and I can, of course, forward your email or your contact information to our homes. For HQ, we purchase our own goods. We purchase for our headquarters office, our district offices, as well as our cemeteries. Non-IT service contracts that are over $5,000 are centralized at our headquarters office, and anything that's under 5,000 service orders are purchased through the homes directly. For IT goods and services, all of those purchases for either goods or services are centralized through our headquarters Information Services Division in Sacramento. And if you're interested for any of this, though, whether it's IT, non-IT, construction, and morale, the MWR purchases, contact me and I'll be sure to get your information to the right person. So this slide also shows you how to get to our Doing Business with CalVet section on our website. So you'll see it's not as easy as I wish it was, but you need to go to a section called About Us. Be patient for the pull down menu to show up, and then choose Doing Business with CalVet. And the next slide will show you what that web page looks like. So thank you, Daniel. Our OPC, Office of Procurement and Contracts website, it consists of different sections. There's an SBDDBE section, the non-IT procurement, contracts, contract registry, resources, email addresses, and the complaint form. So just to go through the SBDDBE page, what you'll find on that is a history of our SBDDBE participation. So just to give you a little information about how serious we are about using certified firms, DDBE Prime contracts that we awarded last fiscal year, which ran from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. We achieved 42.7% DVBE participation. That is up over 12% from the year before. So approximately $19.2 million went to DVBE firms last year. So far this year, just with Q2, we are on track. We've increased our Q2 number from last year. And we, of course, will always strive to achieve more than what we did before. So far in Q2 this year, 91% of our DVBE participation came from non-IT goods, 9% in services and construction. SB's participation last year, we were at 45.8%, again over a 12% increase from the year before. So approximately $38.7 million went to certified small businesses. So far this year, Q2, 56% of our SB participation was in non-IT services and 44% in non-IT goods. So our goal is to keep increasing our DVBE numbers, obviously. And how we do that is that we have a DVBE first policy at Calvet, which means that we always strive to reach out and award to DVBEs first. If we're unsuccessful, we then move to soliciting certified small businesses. So this is something that we have really, really encouraged in the time I've been here, and we've really seen results. Most of our purchases are using an acquisition method called the SB or DVBE option. So purchases between $5,000 and $250,000 are solicited to either DVBEs only or small businesses only. So there's always that opportunity for small businesses and DVBEs to be awarded solicitations or contracts. We also, being Calvet, we strive to achieve 5% annual participation, which of course, meeting 22% is just, we're so grateful for. We also have a DVBE policy regarding DVBE contract goals. So for contracts between $10,000 and $200,000, we set a 5% DVBE participation goal. And those are ones that are advertised to everybody, advertised in the California state contract registry system. So that's something I should have mentioned with the SBDVB option. SBDVB option purchases, those ones that are between $5,000 and $250,000, or if it's a public works contract, the upper threshold is $388,000. Those are not advertised typically. Those are ones that we look in Cal eProcure for your firm to solicit. So, this is an opportunity that's a great benefit to certified firms. We also strive to award to newly certified firms. And there was recent legislation passed, AB 1574. It actually went into effect last year, that requires state agencies to expand their pool of certified firms. But when it comes to the DVBE program, there has been a couple of audits through the Office of the State Auditor about the DVBE program. And the concern was that agencies were not awarding to many firms because there were 30 firms, 30 DVBE firms in audits that were conducted or released in 2014 and 2018 that showed 30 firms receiving over 80% of those DVBE dollars. So we have always had it in our mind to increase the number of firms that are awarded our contracts so that more DVBE firms see the benefit of certification. So the other sections on our website speak to non-IT procurement. So when you go to that section in our website, you'll see a list of goods or commodities that we purchase, as well as other resources. There's the IT, non-IT contracts section, where you'll find a look ahead report. Again, that is a report that gives you a snapshot of what's coming up in the next 8 to 12 months typically. We also have a contractor registry, and this is one if you offer services that would be useful in an emergency situation. Let's say during the wildfire season, we would need air scrubbers at our home. We'd say, if you provide or rent those air scrubbers, please sign up for our contractor registry, because that is something that we will go to, especially if you're a certified firm. There's also other resources and links, notably, of course, to DGS, resources for that they have for certified firms. There's also a contact email address, which is at the bottom of that page. And it is just a generic mailbox that goes to the Office of Procurement and Contracts. You can always send it there, any information there. But I'll also give you my email address shortly. There's also a link to an SBDDBE complaint form. And that is if you've come across an issue where you're working on a project and you're not getting paid on time. And this would be for CalVet contracts or not. Typically with prompt payment, I would say feel free to fill out that form and send it to me. I may not be the one to handle it if it's another agency, but we will certainly connect you with the appropriate agency. If you're listed on a contract and you're not being used, that's a complaint form. That's what the complaint form is for. So please, that would be one instance where that would be appropriate. If you know of a firm that is certified but isn't performing a commercially useful function, that's where you could also use that complaint form. Okay, let me go to the next slide. So here's my email address. It's sbdvbeadvocate@calvet.ca.gov. Thank you for your time today. I know there's going to be another slide with questions on it, but I just wanted to say, please be patient. I know being newly certified, you think things are going to happen right away. Hopefully they do, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. There's a lot of paperwork that's involved, and sometimes it just takes some experience in what, learning why you didn't get this procurement or this contract. So don't be discouraged. And I also encourage you to encourage others to become certified. In order to grow these programs, we need to increase the number of DVBE firms. Right now, there's approximately 1,700 DVBE firms, where there's 17,000 SB firms that are certified. So let's grow the program and encourage anyone you know that is eligible, or at least go to DGS's website to see if they're eligible, so that we can get more DVBEs certified. So let's see, last slide. Oh, thank you, Daniel. So 3 common questions. How can I do business with CalVet? Research, learn what we do and what we purchase. Of course, I gave you a little background on that today, but there's always more to learn. Review historical purchase information, which you can do through Skippers, which is the state contract and procurement registration system. Learn about what we purchase. And as I mentioned earlier, some of our solicitations are SB or DVB option solicitations. So those are ones that are not advertised. And so in that case, you would go to Skippers and choose an advanced search option and select SB or DVB option to see the types of services that or goods that we use for the SB DVB option. Use the California State Contracts Register, which is the CSCR. Look for bid opportunities that we offer. One thing I wanted to mention for suppliers, typically the contracts that are advertised in the CSCR are for services. But if you're a supplier, some of those contracts need supplies. So check it out. If there's, a plumbing project and you read the scope of work for that contract and see that supplies are needed, contact or you can place an ad for the prime to see if you might become a partner with them, or not necessarily a partner, but a sub with them to provide those supplies. So reach out to me. I'm always there to help you. Sometimes I can't do as much as I want due to time constraints, but realize that I will find either, if I can't provide it, someone else who can provide the information you need. Respond to all solicitations, even if you don't plan to provide or submit a bid or quote. It's a good way just to tell us or fine tune. Maybe we sent you a solicitation that is kind of related to what you do, but not. So let us know that so we can, find a better opportunity for you. Also, if you have questions about a solicitation, contact the buyer or the contract analyst to see if you can get that clarified. Because we're not perfect, sometimes there are mistakes in our solicitations. Point it out to us so that we can improve, and hopefully it'll be an opportunity that then is of interest to you. Is there a way I can get in front of buyers at all facilities? This is something we get a lot. It can be difficult, and it's not because of anything personal, of course. It's because of timing. Sometimes solicitations or the services you provide aren't going to be solicited soon. So that may, so we'll keep your information on file. So it may not be the appropriate time for a meeting. But if you are a non-IT goods supplier, we do offer an opportunity for DVBs first to present at our non-IT goods monthly meetings. So that in that case, you would submit your interest to me that you'd like to have this marketing opportunity, provide a capability statement. And I have to say, though, that the good has to be, or the goods that you provide has to be something that we purchase. If it's something that's more of a niche item, then that may not be the right venue. So we try to find the appropriate venue for you. Can you assist me? Question 3, can you assist me in finding opportunities with the VA or other state agencies? No, my priority is CalVet contracts and procurements. I'm here to help CalVet achieve their participation goals and find opportunities for you. But we do, being CalVet, have the statewide DVB advocate in our office. And their information here, dvbe@calvet.ca.gov, is where you can reach out if you're interested in doing business with the VA or with other state agencies. So, and also if you're a certified SB firm, I would say if it's not CalVet related, DGS has a great division, department, great individuals that help small business. So that concludes my presentation. I appreciate your time today, and I look forward to connecting with some of you. So please reach out whenever you can.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rose. Great information for all watching. I learned a couple of things too, so I appreciate you presenting.
You're welcome.
And with that, we thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And while we wait for Daniel to set me up, just a quick reminder, this is skin in the game. So we want to make sure you engage with us, you attend. So this is number 2. We have 4 more additional in-persons here in Temecula. If you come and attend to 3 of them, you get those poker chips, and the ARC will sponsor your exhibit booth at the summit in Moreno Valley in September. If you are streaming and watching from out of state, we encourage you also to watch all the live streams, and the ARC will also sponsor your exhibit booth at the 12th Annual Business Summit. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. You have been seeing me in the morning. So my name is Karla Gonzalez. I'm with the Inland Empire SBDC. The SBDC, Daniel, if you can give me control of the screen, please. Out of our SBDC, we have what's called the Center for Contracting. It is new to the Orange County and San Bernardino and Riverside area. So we are housed out of the IE, which is out of the Inland Empire Center for Entrepreneurship, but we have our team that is spread out through our offices, Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and also the County of Riverside. So for those that don't know, the SBDC is a nationwide program. We are part of the OCIE network, which covers Orange County, San Bernardino, and Riverside. But for those watching and for those in the room, if you're not in our area, SBDCs are nationwide. So keep in mind, they're probably spread out all over, probably in your city, and you don't even know it. So we are a nationwide program. We encourage you to reach out to us to get assistance. We are at no cost to you. My particular network has about 100 consultants that are here to assist you in various different areas. Whether it's helping you start your business, grow the business, maintain the business, we can assist you all at no cost. You heard that right. All at no cost to you. So I encourage you to reach out to us. If you are just thinking of an idea, don't know where to go with it, or just stuck with your business, don't know how to grow it, reach out to us. We have consultants that have expertise in marketing, social media marketing, startup, accounting, you name it, structuring, strategizing the next move for your business. So we have a lot of consultants in our offices. Once again, if you're not from our area, reach out to your local SBDC to see if they're able to assist you. We all are here to help you move the business to the next level. As I mentioned, we are a nationwide program. There are over 1,000 locations spread out. So I encourage you to really touch out to us. We are a proud resource partner of the SBA and also the California Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, known as GoBiz. Because of these funding partners, like I mentioned earlier, we are at no cost to you. So I encourage you to reach out to us. See if I can move the screen here. There we go. So unique to our office, we have the Center for Contracting. So I am not alone. We have a team of 6 consultants that are here to assist you in contracting. So I'm removing myself from our regular to now contracting. So if you're looking for assistance in contracting, meaning certifications, contracting, bidding, all that good stuff, we have a team of 6. I call us your Avengers. So you're not going in at it alone. People will think, well, I'm getting stuck, I don't know where to go. We are here with you every step of the way. So I have Victor, I have Lupe, Troy, Jackie, Michael, and myself. So we are all here to assist you throughout your journey when it comes to contracting and certifications. Now, how do we do that? That's always the question. There are different buckets when you're talking about contracting. As Rose mentioned earlier, they talked a little bit about the certification, talked about contracting, talked about research. That is where we as an office come in. I'll let the screen go ahead and change. There we go. So we help you in these 4 core buckets. We will help you with research. We will help you with certification capability statements. We will help you with the contract and the bids, the submission process of it, and as well as managing a contract. So we can help you in these 4 buckets. And I'm going to go in a little bit deeper on what each of those buckets look like. But if you are looking for any kind of assistance in contracting, that is going to be our core services for our clients. Now, as I go through each of these buckets, we call it the client process, assessment into action. The goal is, like the theme is, skin in the game. We want to make sure you have skin in the game. You are committed to this to move your business along. So we're talking about research, just like Rose mentioned, we look at defining your target market. You may come and say, I don't know who I want to do business with. Or you may say, I don't want to do it with everybody. I want to get everybody's business. I want to be a part of all these different buyers. And that's great. We don't discourage you, but we want to make sure you stay focused because not everybody buys the same way. Not everybody procures the same way. So we have to find out, how do they buy? What is their process? Like I mentioned, not everybody does the things the same way. Then we look at, do you have the required licenses and permits to run your business? You have to be a legal business. You just can't go in and bid a contract if you're not a legal business. We need to make sure you have everything that's regarding your compliance in place. In addition to that, we also look at, is there a need for your product or service within that agency? Because if it's not, then why are we going down that path? Let's go down the path where you're really going to be needed in terms of products and services. So it goes back to that research aspect of things. Then we look at defining your industry codes. This is huge because not everybody uses the same industry codes. Federals use the NAICS codes, state will use the UNSPSC code. So we need to make sure you understand the industry codes and you choose all the correct ones that are associated with what is your business can do. What is your expertise? What are you able to do within your business? So we really want to make sure you define those industry codes. Out of our offices, we're able to offer you market research so we can pull data on bids that have been awarded and tell you how much has been awarded in what areas. And then lastly, we also encourage you, not only our SBDC webinars or in-persons, but also the PTACs. They're also a nationwide program. So for those streaming and watching online, SBDC and PTACs are nationwide. Tap into these free resources. Our job is to help you get your business going in the right direction. The other bucket we're looking at is contracts and bids. Understanding that there are different types of bids. I can go through the whole alphabet soup. We got RFQs, RFPs, you name it. But really understanding what all of that means, because that's going to help you when you're looking at those opportunities. Also understanding that you need to register to receive some of these opportunities. Some people don't know, if you look at, for example, your cities or counties, they will have a list for, sorry, not a list, excuse me, a link for you to register into their portal. So you can see those opportunities, guess what? At no cost. It takes you a couple of minutes, register with those cities and counties, and you are able to see those opportunities. That helps you back at that research phase, understanding what they're buying, what is coming out, searching for the bids. That's always goes hand in hand with the registering, understanding who do you want to go after, how do they post, how do you get those notifications. Some of these systems will send it to you on a weekly basis or monthly basis, or based on your, once again, industry codes. We want to make sure you have the right codes associated so you get the right notifications. So all that comes hand in hand. Also, to Rosa's point, research past performance. That is going to be key as well when we're looking at these contracts and these bids. And then lastly, on the contracts and bid is learning how to read and respond. I will tell you one of the biggest mistakes is you'll pull a bid out, might be 70 to 80 pages, and you skip over it. You go to certain sections. No, you have to read the entire bid because it will tell you how to submit it to the point where what kind of paper to use, if it needs to be stapled, paper clip, bind it, it will tell you everything. It will tell you due dates, Q&A periods. So you really need to understand the bid, read it all the way through. And in the office, we'll sit with you and we'll take it apart. It can be, like I said, 70, 80, 100 pages. Not scary. We take it apart and we read it and we really understand what is going to be expected from you in that response. Now, our other buckets are going to cover certifications and SAM, and obviously managing a contract. So as the screen changes over, if we're looking at certifications, now keep in mind, not everybody cares if you're certified. I call it the who cares. Finding out who you want to do business with and what do they care about. The biggest question I get is, well, Karla, I just need to get women certified. Fantastic. There's 3 different kinds. We need to make sure you get the correct ones for, once again, back to my research, to the target market you are looking for. So when we're looking at certifications and SAM, because I deal with this aspect of it in the office, is really identifying the ownership breakdown. That is going to be key. I call that the magic number is 51%. You have to own it, control it, and manage it. OCM. So if you're trying to get certified, you want to make sure you identify the ownership correctly. And not just identify like, hey, Karla, I'm 51%. No, we need to be able to see it all the way down. Documentation, your tax returns, everything needs to reflect the correct ownership. With that, your documents need to be in order. If we're looking at the certification process, they're going to be asking tax returns, resumes, corporate docs, LLC docs, you name it. So we want to make sure all that is correct from the very start, because if not, that's going to be your hiccup. Okay. In addition to that, like I mentioned earlier, identifying the who cares. You really want to understand, who do you want to do business with? Is it corporate America? Is it the state? Is it the federal? Who is it? The utility companies? You really have to make sure you identify who you want to do business with so that we go down the correct path. And there might be more than 1 or 2, and that's okay. But we really need to develop some sort of a plan for you so that you know where you're going down. A quick overview on certifications. I don't go into it too much in this, but there is a whole slew of them for my veterans that are watching. The VA has their disabled veteran and their veteran. California has their disabled veteran. So there are certifications out there that you can obtain. For my small businesses, same thing. There are small business designations as well with the state of California and with other entities. For my ethnic minorities, my gender base, we have all kinds of different certifications. But it's determining the who cares. Who is looking for these certifications? So we make sure you get the correct ones. Registering in the portals is key. Once you're certified, you need to register so that they know that you exist. Certifications are only a tool in your tool belt. They do not guarantee you any work. So we want to make sure you are properly registered and you have the right tools with you. Networking like this is key. Shaking hands, getting to know other businesses in the area. You can create partnerships, ventures with them, go after bigger contracts. So networking is a good opportunity, not only to connect with potential partners, but with buyers. Connecting with the primes, letting them know who you are, what is it that you do, how can you provide subcontract for them. And then biggest thing, capability statement. That is that 1-page management resume. We say no more than a page, but it goes straight to the point. What is your core competency, your past performance? What makes you different? What are your certifications, your credentials? All that needs to be listed out there so that when you go to a networking event, that is what you're going to provide to the speakers and to whoever you're networking with. So they can take that away and they understand exactly what your business is and what it can do. On the managing a contract, we go and look at bonding. You got a contract break. Can we get you bonding? That is an aspect people normally forget. That is a big component of some of these big jobs is bonding. So we will walk you through that process. If we're looking at certain contracts, such as with the state, we look at that DIR registration, helping you through that process, making sure it's done correctly. If you're requiring work comp, what are those requirements? Prevailing wages, understanding what that is, understanding how that can impact your bottom line. Working capital, yeah, you get the contract, but that can be a great thing or it can be a horrible thing if you don't have capital. So we want to make sure you're able to cash flow. And like I mentioned before, we refer back to the PTACs and the SBDCs as well. We are here to guide you through that entire process. So I encourage you to reach out to both the PTACs and the SBDCs. We are here to assist you throughout this process in contracting. Now, I will give you a quick look ahead of what us as the SBDC we're doing at the office. We host numerous webinars and in-person classes on contracting. So coming up on the 23rd, we have a detailed bid response. We are literally going to take apart a state contract for 2 days and walk you through what that process looks like, walk you through what to look for. Now, piggyback off to that, we have the state also doing how to do it with the state of California. I'm certified now what? Contracting with the state. That's going to be at the beginning of March. And then we're going to tap it off here in this room here on the 16th, how to do business with the city of Temecula. We have many others that come, other cities and other counties, but the one on the 16th will be here in Temecula in person and also hybrid. And then lastly, we have our big event with MWD, where they're going to talk to you about the regional project forecast for 2023. And that's going to be also a hybrid event in Moreno Valley. So I encourage you all to look at the webinars. They come out every month. We're here to help you through this journey in contracting. And I can just touch a little bit on certifications. So kind of give you a quick overview on the alphabet soup. Because I know we talked about CalVet, their small business, their DVBE. There are, like I said earlier, tons of different certifications. We break them down into 4 sectors. Those are your target markets: your state, your federal, your utilities, and your private sector. So really understanding who you want to go with and what those certifications are. As I stated earlier, I have many times, I need to get women certified. There's 3 different kinds. There's WBE for utilities, there's WBE for our corporate America, and then there's WOSB for my federal. For my veterans, there's 2. At the federal level, under the SBA now, because they moved over, you have Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business, SDVOSB. For my veterans, you have VOSB, Veteran-Owned Small Business. So that is federal. Under my state, we have Small Business, SB, and we have Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, DVBE. So it can seem like a lot and it can seem overwhelming at times, but that is what we are here for at the Center for Contracting, is helping you really understand what all of this means, what applies to you, and help you hopefully secure one of those first contracts that you can go back and say, hey, I got my first contract with X, Y, and Z, and it can happen. Just recently out of the office, we've had, I think, 2 or 3 people secure their very first contract with DGS. So it can happen. It's trial and error. We get to know you, get to know your business, help you prepare in those bids, and we learn and we move forward with that. So as I mentioned, I'm Karla with the Inland Empire SBDC for the Center for Contracting. You are more than welcome to reach out to me. If you are watching us live and you're not in our state, reach out to me. I will connect you to the correct SBDC and the correct PTAC. You're not bothering me. I will respond to you. Give me a couple of days, but I will provide you with that information, because our goal is to make sure you are able to start securing contracts. Goes back to our overlying theme, have skin in the game. We want you to have skin in the game, but we want you to be ready to contract, ready to get certified and move forward with all these opportunities. We don't want you to face any roadblocks. So take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Take advantage of the 12th annual Business Summit and Veteran Summit that's happening in Moreno Valley. I encourage you to come to these events. We have 4 more left. Like we mentioned, the ARC is sponsoring your exhibit booth. If you come 3 times here in person, if you're streaming out of state, watch all the live streams, and they will also sponsor your exhibit booth on the 12th annual Business Summit and Veteran Summit that we're having. It is a great event. I'm a part of it. A lot of networking, a lot of great opportunities for you to jump in and really get your feet wet and immerse yourself in the experience and get your skin in the game. And with that, I am happy to announce we have Mr. Wayne Gross with Department of General Services coming up, talking to us about I'm certified, now what? So Wayne, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Karla. So
We're waiting for Daniel to switch the screens.
modern technology at its finest.
There you go, and you're able to control
Okay.
yourself.
Okay, why isn't it working? Turn the light. There we go. Thank you. Okay. Good morning. My name is Wayne Gross. I'm a business outreach liaison with the Department of General Services. My email address is wayne.d.gross@dgs.ca.gov. And my direct phone line is a Teams phone line. We got rid of our desk phones because we all telework now. And so when you see that 279 area code, you go, what? But my phone number is 279-946-8387. And before I get into my presentation, I just want you to know it's important if you can attend these presentations in person, because I just found out that we have Caltrans District 8, which is San Bernardino here. And so as you will find out in this world, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so I just wanted to pay my respects to San Bernardino for coming today. So our topics today . It's delayed, yes. It's a 20-second delay. So what we're first going to be talking about is updating and improving your profile. You have two profiles in Cal eProcure, our database. You have the public one that the world sees, and then you have the private one called notifications. Next, we're going to talk about bid solicitations. I'll take you through a sample of what a bid looks like and all the different parts to the bid. Next, we'll talk about research past purchases. Our database is called Skippers, and it goes all the way back through December 15th, 2015. So we have 7 years of information that you can do some research on. We'll be talking about your new best friends, the small business DVBE advocates. Any agency that procures $100,000 or more must have an advocate. We're going to be talking about reciprocity. These are agencies throughout the state that honor the small business and or DVBE certifications. We're going to be talking about emergency contracting. Because of COVID and the fires, we did not meet our 25% small business and 3% DVBE goals 2 years ago. So last year, my peers created this database so that all the people in our database, small business or DVBE, can register in this separate database. If they meet, there's 30 different criteria, headings of what you can do. And the KISS principle is very active here. KISS meaning keep it simple, stupid. And it's really easy to register. And if there's emergency, the buyers have to be registered in the database also. And so then they would literally contact you. We're going to talk about commercially useful function. Basically, we want to weed out the cheaters. We want you, if you're doing something, you want to make sure that everything is above board. If I'm a prime contractor and you are a painter and I call you up and say, hey, you still have your DDB certification? You go, yeah. Well, I need a tile person. Can I use your DVBE certification? Wait a minute. I'm a painter. I'm not a tile person. Unfortunately, things like that go on all the time. And if you get caught, we can hit you real good in the wallet. Finally, we have resources, the different agencies, as we have today, the SBDC. I'll give you a list of other ones that we can use. And finally, a handout. If you're here, you can actually pick up the handout. I will show you a copy of it. And if nothing else, there's a QR code, and under it is a direct link, and you can copy the link and get the same information. So the Cal eProcure profile, it's all of your business information, your business name, your email, all your addresses, keywords, and the UNSPSC, or the United Nations Specialty Product Specialty Codes, not to be confused with the NAICS codes, the federal codes, North America Industry Classification Systems. And so a keyword is a word that describes a good or service. It's individual, it's singular, and any word can be a keyword. Example, paper, pen, stapler, pencil. And you notice that I use the singular, not the plural. The way our system works is, if I use the word paper, I will get everything with the word paper in everyone's keywords, which means I would also get papers, plural, or paper and whatever else follows, okay? So, but if I would use the word papers, plural, I would not get paper. That's why you always, 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 and Wayne means always, use the singular. How do I use the keywords? You describe your goods and services you sell. Enter whatever keywords you want. Certification profile only. And buyers use them to find you. And so the whole key to all this is to get as many keywords as possible, because I would say 90% of our buyers use keywords to find you. And how do I select the right keywords? Use common words and jargon in your industry. Use synonyms. Use specific and broad keywords. Use keywords from the descriptions of your UNSPSC codes. And finally, plagiarize. Oh my God. I said plagiarize, right? In other words, you're only as good as your competition. So use their words, okay? It's a public access database, so there's no such thing as plagiarism. Now, the UNSPSC codes are an 8-digit code, and there are 4 levels. The first level is the first 2 digits, and then 6 zeros. And in my example, that would be paper, materials, and products. The second level is the first 4 digits and 4 zeros, and that would be paper, materials, and products, and then paper products. The third level, or what we call the parent code, is the first 6 digits ending in 00, and that's paper, materials, and products, paper products, and then we go down a level to business use print and writing paper. And then the fourth level is the 8-digit specific code, which would be, in this example, paper materials and products, paper products, business use printing and writing paper, and then printer or copier paper. And so on your California profile, we want the third level, the parent codes. We do not, I repeat, we do not want the 8-digit codes. And usually what happens is, depending on what you're trying to sell to the state, you may have 3 or 4 parent codes, but if you added all of the 8-digit codes, you'd have 50. We don't want that. We just want the third level, the parent codes. And how do I select the right UNSPSC codes? First, the description to find the right codes, use the hierarchy to find other codes, and here again, plagiarize. Find your competition and look at their codes. So how do I use the UNSPSC codes? You're going to do it in your registration profile. And that's how you first start out before you get certified. And then in the certification profile, you're going to promote your goods and services to buyers. One last thing on your registration profile, you will use both the parent codes and the 8-digit specific codes. So this is our homepage, caliprocure.ca.gov. And on the top right, it says login register. And there we go. And so we go to the login page and we put in our user ID and password and then hit login. Now you'll notice at the very bottom, it says, I forgot my password. Okay, I don't know about you, but I probably have 6 to 10 different passwords for whatever I'm looking for, right? And so if you happen to forget it, have that senior moment, right? Just click, I forgot my password. They'll ask you for your email. They will send you a temporary one like you got when you registered. And so when you log in, it will say that it's expired. And then the system forces you into putting in your own personal password again. So I've logged in. I am now on the Work Center page. I just love this, this delay. So we're going to scroll down to the certification section on the right side of the page at the bottom. And it says, view my public certification profile. So this is your certification profile. On the top left is your supplier ID number or certification number, both the same thing. That number is so important. Why? How do you think you get paid? On your invoice, you put your supplier ID number. That number is almost as important as your social security number. I'd say it's number 2. So, and I guarantee everyone can can recite their social security number. You should be able to recite your supplier ID number because that identifies you in our database. There are 3 places that supplier ID number needs to go. The first place is on the right-hand side on your email, your signature block. You should have SB space # and whatever your supplier ID number is. If you're certified small business and DVBE, it's all caps SB/DVBE space # and your number. As you scroll down the profile, on the left side is your website. In this day and age, every company should have a website. And here again, this is the second place you want to put your certification number. The third place, which we will talk about a little bit later, is your profile, your capability statement, okay, your resume. And I'll show you where that goes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click keywords, and it's going to give me a list of my keywords. And so what you're going to do is you're going to highlight the keywords, and you're going to copy and paste them into a Word document. And then you're going to return to the profile. But before we do, as you see in my example, I've made two mistakes: light bulbs, plural, and lamps, plural. I want to correct that to the singular, okay? So that when the buyer puts in light bulb, they're going to get me. If they put in light bulbs, they're going to get me, okay? So now I'm back to my profile, and I'm going to click View Classifications. Oop. And here I have my codes and my descriptions. I want to copy and paste both the codes and the description into that same Word document. Now, let's talk about what we're looking for here. You'll see in my example, my three codes are perfect. What I mean by that, they're the parent codes. Okay, let's say on the first one, I had 601 instead of 600. Okay, when I correct it, I will, change that 601 to 600. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my certification profile. Just love this delay, huh? Okay, now we're at the home page and we have quick links. We're going to, that little white triangle to the right of quick links gives you a drop down, and we are now going to find certified firms, small business and DVBE. On this page, on the right side of the search engine, is the first one is the UNSPSC classification codes, and the fifth line is keywords. Okay, so we're going to put in my first keyword, and I should have put light bulb, not light bulbs. Okay, and then hit search. What I'm doing now is teaching you how to plagiarize, people. Okay, it's legal because it's public. So with my results here, I only have 8 because I had light bulbs. But if I put the word light bulb, I guarantee I would have had more than 8. Okay, so you'll notice that I'm going to download these 8. Where is it? Oh, what's happened here? Oh, I'm using another one here. Here's light bulb. And now I have 11 instead of 8. So I'm going to click the download button. And it says download attachment. And I get a giant Excel spreadsheet. And what this is is all 11 companies on this Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to go over to column V, as in victory, because you're winning here. And you're going to highlight the entire column, and you're going to copy and paste it into that Word document that we've got our keywords and the UNSPSC code. Okay? But this time, when you paste it, you're going to use the clipboard with the giant A. And here's why. Depending on how many companies you have here, let's say you have 150 companies with whatever keyword search you've done. When you use the giant A on the clipboard, it takes, let's say, 25 pages of keywords and scrunches it down to like 5. Okay, and I've only done that with 1 word, and I still have 4 more words and my, and my 3 codes to work. So I'm going to repeat these steps with every one of my keywords and UNSPSC codes. Okay, and so once you've done that, you're going to open up that Word document that you've gotten, and you're going to write down keywords that that your competitors have listed, but you haven't done a search for. And so let's say you get 5 or 6 more. You want to go in and do a search and then download and copy and paste it into that Word document. So hopefully, you know, realistically, you could have 100 pages. Okay. Once you've done all that searching, then you're going to print it. So save a tree, save a forest, and double side that print job. So you only have 50 pages, not 100 pages. And here again, you want to print it out. So now we're back at the home page and we're logged in. Register. You want to make sure that you are logged in. And it takes you back to the Work Center page. Now we're going to go to the very bottom, and it has here, Manage Notification Profile. So now we are on the private profile. This is notifications. To get there, you had to be logged in. Okay. So the first thing it says is an SBDVBE subcontracting notification. I don't care if you will never ever be a subcontractor. You always say yes. And so you say yes, and then you scroll down and you have to put in at least 1 email. Then you scroll down to the CSTR, which is the California State Contracts Register, which is Cali Procure. And you want to say, yes, you want to receive bid opportunities, and you have to put in at least 1 email. Now, if you have several people in your company that you want them to receive the notifications also, you can list them. There is no limit to the number of emails listed there. On the right side are your service areas, and it says optional. I wish they would take the word optional out, because you have one and only one choice, and that is for services statewide, click here, okay? Because you want all of the notifications. Now, on your California profile that the world sees, okay? I live in San Diego, okay? And I only want to do business in San Diego. So on my profile, all I check is San Diego County, okay? So I have 2 sections here. One where the buyer's seeing that I only want to do business in San Diego County, but on my notifications, I'm getting all of the notifications, okay? And here's why. I'm doing this now for a couple years. I've gotten a couple contracts. I've hired a couple people. I now want to do business in SoCal, Southern California, which would be LA County, Orange, San Diego, Imperial, and San Bernardino and Riverside. So on my California profile, all I'd have to do is add those 5 counties to San Diego. Here again, I don't touch this one for statewide on my notifications because I'm getting everything. Because there may be that wild one that comes up for Sacramento. And you go, dang it, I could do this. Okay. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. Okay. So this is where this is the UNSPSC section now as we scroll down on the left side. And we can either put in a UNSPSC code or the description, keyword. So I'm going to put in a keyword and then hit search. And I put the word light bulbs and I got the parent code. You see that's 600. And I got the list of all of the subheadings, 01, 02, 03, all the way up to 99. And so I want to check all of them. I want the parent code and all of the subheadings, okay? Now, I don't care at this point if I can't do 3 or 4 of them, okay? You want to check them all and hit add selected. What happens then is the search results on the left get transferred over to the right. So you see, I've gotten 600 all the way down to how many there are on, 22, 23 on the subheadings, okay? Now, like I said, I may not be able to do some of these. At this point, I don't care. This is an exercise in maximizing your time and getting as many codes into the system. This is your private system, okay? Once you save it, this is how you're going to get notified. If you have the parent code or the 8-digit specific code, if I'm a buyer and I load a solicitation on Cali Procure, if you have that parent code or the 8-digit code, you will get notified, okay? Now, I have here solar lamps, okay, which is 03. I don't do solar lamps, okay? But I got a solicitation for solar lamps, okay? Well, that's why God created the delete button. I got the email, I opened it up for solar lamps. I go, hey, I don't do it. I delete it and I'm happy, right? I could go in on my time to notifications, find that code and hit that red X. I'll never get another solar lamp, okay? But here's the thing, okay? I'm expanding, okay? All of a sudden, I now can sell solar lamps. So the next solicitation that comes for solar lamps, guess what? I can do it. I'm ready. That's right, okay? My job is to give you every opportunity possible, okay? So once I've taken that first keyword, I'm going to now put my second keyword, do a search, hopefully get the parent code and all of the subheadings. Do that with each one, and I'm going to circle it on my 50 pages double-sided of keywords. Going to go down through every keyword, right? And then I'm going to do the same with the UNSPSC codes, okay? And then what I want to do is I'm going to see here. Okay, no. Okay, then once I've done all that, I'm going to click the download button. Okay. And here's the beginning of it. And I'm going to copy and paste that download into a Word document. And then I'm going to print it. And then I'm going to get a highlighter and I'm going to highlight the parent codes. Okay? So I could have, like I said, this list could be 200, okay? But I only have 10 parent codes. So I now have a list of highlighted parent codes, and I've got a list of circled keywords. I'm going to take that information and put it into my California profile. So I'm back to my my work center, and I'm going to click under certification, manage certification. This takes you to the certification profile. On the right side under applications, the second line says amend application. And so I'm going to click that. And what happens is it takes you to the online application that either you, your secretary, your best friend, your wife, whoever got you certified, okay? And you'll notice at the very top that there are 7 headings, and we want other, okay, for the keywords and classification codes. You used to be able to click other and it would take you to that page, but we found that there was a glitch. And so what you have to do is it always defaults to the first page, registration. So you scroll down to the very bottom of the registration page and hit save and continue. And you do that 5 times, okay? Until you come to the GARS page. GARS standing for gross annual receipts. And you say, yes, you want to proceed. And now you are on the other page. And you'll know because on the top left are the service areas, the counties. And here again, you could, if you had said that you just wanted San Diego County and you want to add another county, this is where you would do it, okay? On the right side are your keywords. And so the way, what I tell people to do is correct what you have. And like I said, I have to change light bulbs to light bulb and lamps to lamp. And so you see on the right side of light bulbs is a plus and an X. The plus means I'm going to add a line. And so I add a line and I put lamp, or I'll put light bulb, and I'll hit the plus sign. Then I will go back up to light bulbs and hit the X, okay? Then I will hit the plus sign again and hit lamp, type in lamp and hit the plus sign, gives me another empty space, go back up to lamps. And now my keywords have been updated, okay? I've got 5 words that are all single, okay? Then I look my 50 pages of keywords that I've searched, and I will now add each one. Unfortunately, you can't do a copy and paste, 25 words. You have to put in each one individually. And like I said before, the whole idea is to get as many words as possible to identify what you do. Now we're going to scroll down. On the left side is the UNSPSC classifications selection. And here is, like I said before, my 3 codes are all parent codes. But if I had a code that was an 8-digit code, what I would do is I would copy down the description of the, of that 8-digit code. And as you know that I'm going to use the 600, that 601 would be lamps and light bulbs and lamp components dash lamps and light bulbs dash and then whatever 01 is, right? And so I would want to take off that last word, right? And then I'm going to add UNSPSC classification after I've deleted it with the X. And in description, I would put in the parent code description, okay? And then look up. And I'd check it, and then I would save it and do that with every one of my parent codes. So if I had 5 or 6 more, I would add each of the parent codes, save it, okay? And then I would make sure that I had saved it, okay? And then on, this is a new part of our Cal eProcure registration. It is on supplier diversity, okay? And this is purely for DGS input only. It's all private. Nothing is going to go out to the public, but we're trying to find out, everyone's, ethnicity, race, gender identity, sexual orientation. It's purely voluntary, and you can change or remove the data and does not grant a contracting preference. And on your profile, California profile, they have now keywords, classifications, and the diversity button. And there is the button there that you can open it up. And here's what the information looks like. It's a very simple thing to fill out. Here again, it is purely voluntary. You do not need to fill this out if you don't want to. So now that we have our 2 profiles, the California profile that the world sees and the notifications updated, where you now are going to get your solicitations. Let's look at the bid solicitations. This is where you find the bids. It's public, competitive bids. It's formal bids, okay? So remember, when you're looking for bids, you always, Wayne, did you say always? Yes, Wayne, I did say always be logged in. If you're not logged in, you will not get all of the information you need for that solicitation. So you log in, and you either can click the on the home page. It has here CSCR, search bid opportunities. And here's the search engine. There are 3 ways that you can do a search. On the left-hand side, event name. That's another word for keyword, okay? Event ID, if you happen to know what the identifier is, that you got an email that had it, or department. And you'll notice that there are 3 black lines. And when you click on it, this list is numeric. It is not alphabetic. Why they did that, God only knows why. But anyway, you'll have to go down to find the different agencies if you want to just see, let's say Caltrans, all the solicitations for Caltrans. And if you find Caltrans, you're going to have to look up Department of Transportation. And for CalVet, it's Department of Veterans Affairs. Okay, just kind of remember that. So you can also do an advanced search. And you can do it 3 different ways. One is the UNSPSC codes. Service areas, that's the counties. And last, by contractor license type. So if you're a plumber, whatever that license type is, you would put that number in there and you could do a search. And this is the results. It's just basically a giant list. And you see here event ID, and you'll notice there are 5 leading zeros. You don't have to put the zeros in. Just put in, if you were looking for this first one, 19441. This one's taking a long time. Okay, let's see if it gets caught up on here. Okay, this is what a typical solicitation looks like. Again, you want to make sure that you are logged in because you'll get everything you need to know, okay? And on the far left, you have details of the ID number, when it was posted, and a brief description. So that can kind of give you an overall, do I need to open it up at all? In the middle, it has the event end date and time. Very important. I don't care what type of solicitation it is. City, county, school district, state, federal, all have a date and time, a cutoff time. You got to have it in, okay? And then on the right side, you have event package, post a vendor ad, view vendor ads, okay? You have the contact information, and this guy actually has put his phone number, and that is very irregular, okay? He does have his email, and then you have a pre-bid conference. Caltrans is excellent at having mandatory pre-bids. And why? Because if you're a prime, you have to go to it, okay? You have to sign in. If they don't have a record of you signing in and you post a bid, give them a bid, it doesn't count, okay? You got to have someone there, okay? Now, for you as the small business, this is good for you because then you go to that meeting, they talk, whatever Caltrans is going to say about this solicitation. Then they say, okay, primes, go to your respective table. And then you go to each one of those tables and introduce yourself. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you have your resume, your capability statement, they're going to take that back, or that person, if they are knowledgeable of, what they're looking for, and they say, oh, we're not looking for this, but I'm going to take this back and I'm going to give this to our contractors so they can see, oh, we don't do tile work on this project, but the next one, I've got your information here, okay? On the email and the phone number, I call Maxwell up and I say, hey, Max, this is Wayne. I see that I have to have this today at 2 p.m. and I just can't get it to you. is there a fax number I could use and send it to you? He goes, yeah, no problem, Wayne. And he gives me the fax, okay? So at 5 to 2, I hit the button on the fax machine and it ends at 2 minutes after 2. Is that a good quote? Anyone? No, it's not, right? It's not the start time. It's the end time. Remember that, okay? So I should have started that at 10 minutes till, okay? So these are just the little things that you need to know, okay? And here again, there's the end time and the contact information. And we're going to talk about the event package and the vendor ads. Okay, here is the vendor ad. This is the KISS principle at its finest. Keep it simple, stupid is the phrase, right? Look what you have to figure out. Everything that has a red asterisk. Your name, your email, your phone. Really easy there, right? You're going to give it a title. And then the deadline, you know, of the solicitation. And then you're going to give a description. You are given 2,000 characters, not words, but characters. Once you start typing in there, it starts going 1999, 98, 97. So you're not surprised at the end, right? But you always, always, always. And Wayne, did you say always? Yes, I meant always start out with your certification number. Okay, identify yourself, because the first thing they're going to do, I'm a prime. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the database and I'm going to type in 212-7493, pull up my profile. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look to see if you are current and when it expires, because you have to be current throughout the entire solicitation. So if that guy uses me, he's going to call me up and say, hey, I'm going to use you for my tile work. Okay. But remember, in 6 months, you're going to expire. So, you know, you want to make sure you maintain your certification. Okay. Because you want to get paid. Okay. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about research past purchases. God willing here. And this is good because you want to know what agencies are buying what you're trying to sell. Okay. And we always go to caliprocure.ca.gov. And you're going to scroll down to the 4 squares, and on the bottom left is find public procurement information. And the second one says past purchases in the state contracting and procurement registration system, which is Skippers. The other way, and it's the quicker way as far as I'm concerned, is to go up to quick links and click the little white triangle, and the bottom one says find past purchases. Okay, either way is acceptable. It's going to get you there. This is the search engine. And on the top right is the description you can put in. You can also do a search by department. I had a guy call me up, probably about 6 months ago, and he goes, Wayne, I'm the new buyer for my company. And I know we've done state contracts. I'd just like to get a list of them. And he knew his supplier ID, you know, or he could have put in his supplier name, hit search, and he got a list of all the completed contracts from the beginning that we started this, which was December 15th, 2015. Now, you can do a specific from and to date if you want to do a search. I recommend doing what, you know, just not putting a date in and getting everything. Okay. Now, you can also do an advanced search. Uh-oh. Oh, and I don't have a slide for it, but it pulls up the UNSPSC search engine, and you can search by UNSPSC code. So once you click search, what happens is you get the results. Now you'll notice that these results are for 23,977 lines of information. I guarantee my life, when you hit search, you will not get this Excel spreadsheet just like that. I tell people, go to the bathroom, pour yourself a cup of coffee, let the dog out in the backyard. Hopefully, by the time you do all that and you come back, you get your Excel spreadsheet, okay? This is a very valuable piece of information. The first column is the department that owns the solicitation. The second is the purchase order. This is how the buyer would find this solicitation. The fourth column is the first item title, and then it has start date and end date. It has the grand total of how much the solicitation was paid. And if it's going to give the supplier ID, their number, if they are certified small business or DBE. Okay. So on the right side, on the fourth column from the right, or it's on the left, is the buyer's name and email. Now, I tell people, okay, you are not supposed to call the buyers. All of the directors of all the departments say, contact the advocate. Well, the thing is, the advocate may actually be a buyer, okay? But you are to contact the advocate. So if I had a question on this solicitation, what I would do is I would highlight the entire row, and I would address it to the buyer, okay? And I would say in the email, I would like a copy of the original solicitation and the winning bid, okay? If you've been, doing quotes for 20 years, it's just nice information. But if you're brand new at it, it's nice to know how, the nomenclature of what they did. And you can compare it to the solicitation and the requirements that we're told. Plus, when you go to the SBDC for help, you've got that information saying, hey, this is how Caltrans did it, okay? So then the second part of that email will be to the advocate. Every state agency that procures $100,000 or more must have an advocate, okay? Do not assume that the advocate does it full time. We do have a couple advocates. The one for CDCR, our prisons, Nina Martinez, that's all she does is advocate, okay? She's in charge of 35 prisons, okay? Each one of those advocates have advocates, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they are buyers, okay? I know for a fact, I just found out, okay, and you're getting special information here, that our advocate for District 8 Caltrans, she confessed that she's also a buyer. Ooh, so you have her as a buyer and an advocate, okay? So a lot of the advocates, they only do it 5 or 10% of the time. The rest of the time they're doing whatever for their department, okay? So to find the advocate, we go back to Cali Procure. We scroll down to the 4 boxes. And it says find training and resources. And we go down to the 5th heading, research and marketing. The second one says contact a small business and DVBE advocate. And then you download the advocate directory. And you get this giant Excel spreadsheet of 250 lines of information. Now, it has the department, it may have a unit, location, it's got their name, their phone number, and their email. Do not do a giant e-blast and highlight the email column and send out one email to 250 agencies. That's a no-no. Okay, I wouldn't even bother as an advocate to open it up. Okay, you're basically dissing them. Okay, you want to build a relationship with the advocate because it's not what you know, it's who you know. Because in that email that I was saying that you're sending the buyer, you know, you want a copy of the solicitation and the winning bid. The second part of that email is going to the advocate, okay? And you're telling them what you do, and you're sending them a copy of your capability statement. Okay, fair enough, right? Because what that advocate's supposed to do is they take your capability statement and they send it internally to all of their buyers. Okay, so if a buyer is looking for a tile maker, that's what I do. Okay, they got one, they got me. Okay, and they found out I'm both small business and DVBE. I'm a twofer. Okay, if they use me, they get to count me for their 25% small business goal and their 3% DVBE goal. It's not what you know, it's how to use your position to your home field advantage, as they say. Okay. Now, you notice that there are highlighted agencies there. Okay. Now, Rose talked about the small business DVBE option, which said for IT and non-IT goods and services from 5,000 and a penny up to 250,000 minus a penny, and public works 5,000 and a penny up to 388,000. The buyer has the option of going in to this database and finding at least 2 small businesses or 2 DVBEs. You can't mix the certifications. So if you are a DVBE and you qualify for the small business certification, get them both because of this option. If I'm looking for small businesses, you're certified. You're in that arena. If I'm looking for DVBEs, you're DVBE certified. So you're in that arena. Okay, that's the one advantage of being both certified. Now, all of this is not posted. Okay, so that's why when you contact the advocates, you're going to say, hey, you know, this is what I do. Are there any upcoming solicitations that you are aware of that I could bid on? Okay, literally, you could get a call, you know, you're certified. They call you today and say, hey, would you like to bid on this? And you go, yes, of course. So they send you the information. They say, I want a quote by this Friday at 2 o'clock. Okay, so at 2 o'clock, you've already sent everything in. Monday morning, they call you up and say, congratulations, you won. It can be that simple. Okay, being at the right place at the right time. Okay, now, 7 years ago, my old director said that this option for his buyers was a bunch of bunk. Why? Because they have people like me out in the general public trying to lure people into getting certified as a small business or DVBE. So would it not be logical for my department, Department of General Services, to come to you first? Okay, if I've got a need, come to you first, right? And so we created the first policy. It's The same for the small business DVB option. For IT and non-IT, 5,000 a penny up to 250 minus a penny. And from 5,000 and a penny up to 388,000 for public works. But it's coming to you first, okay? And so if they can't do it, they can't find you, then they have to go through the long process of making it a formal solicitation. So what could have taken 10 minutes is now taking 3 months because they have to write all the jargon that a formal solicitation has. So let's see if I've got it. Okay, there's that. And here are the 18 agencies that have the first policy, okay? And you'll notice that column C is construction. Okay, so if you are in the construction field, I'm going to make your life so much easier. Because if that is your world of construction, the only column you have to worry about is column C and those X's. Those would be the only people you need to contact. Okay, and so what I would do is I'm ready to talk to people. Okay, so, and I'm construction. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to look at the first X that's highlighted in yellow, which is CHP. They're a first policy as well as construction. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So I'm going to introduce myself to them, send them my capability statement. Then I'm going to go down until I find another one that has the X and yellow and go all the way down to 250 lines of information. Then I'm going to go back up and I'm going to go, let's see, Department of Technology. Well, they don't have an X. The next one is high-speed rail. They do construction. So then I'll go and talk to all those people, okay? You always want to do, whatever is to your advantage. The first policy people, okay? Because if they have a need, they're going to call you first. And there's construction. And at the very end, you will find Caltrans, okay? It's under Department of Transportation. And so, I believe it was May when you guys instituted it last year, something like that, Yeah, July? Okay, oh, it was July, okay. So, call me a liar for 2 months. But anyway, it's in effect now. And it's only for small businesses, okay? And it's from 0 up to 388,000, okay? It's the same thing. They have to get at least 2 small businesses, okay, for competition. Now, you notice I didn't mention the DVBEs. Why? Because Caltrans raised their mandatory 3% DVBE goal to 5%. So if you can do business with Caltrans and you're a DVBE, you see, you get another advantage, okay? And lastly, at the very end, you can see the last highlighted one is Veterans Affairs. And if you remember, Rose said also, they have a 5% DVBE goal now, mandatory. So, and what she said last year, they did 22%. You can go do work with Calvet. I mean, come on. No, where you're wanted, if you will. Okay. Next thing is your capability statement. Okay. And there are 3 rules. Number 1, 1 page. It can be double-sided. The second, make sure you have your supplier ID, your certification number. And you'll notice on the bottom right here, I've got my a place for certifications. And there are other certifications on there, which we'll talk about. And then on the left, the third item is your UNSPSC codes and their descriptions. Okay, a bunch of codes on a piece of paper doesn't mean crap. Okay, we need to know what you're trying to sell us. Okay, so yes, I may know some of these codes, okay, because of my 14 years of dealing with this, But I guarantee most people don't know these different codes and what they mean. Okay? So, I've just updated my California profile. I had what, 3 codes, and now I have 6 parent codes and their description, right? So if I go to Google and type in capabilities statement examples, I will get a whole bunch of different examples. Plagiarize, people. That's what they're there for. It's public, right? And what you're basically plagiarizing is the format of whatever. You actually may find a capability statement of what you're trying to sell. Obviously, you're going to have to update it with your information, but at least you've got a blueprint of what to look for. Okay. Anyway, so what you would do is you would copy and paste from your profile. In my case, I now have 10 UNSPSC codes and their description. I'd copy and paste it into my new capability statement. All that hard work was not done in vain. Okay. Now let's go back to the certifications. You'll notice that I've got the first one is I'm certified small business. I've given my supplier ID number and it says DGS, California. And then there are a list of other ones. I'm DBE with Caltrans and my supplier ID number. I'm minority business enterprise. I'm small business enterprise, women. Okay, I've got all these different certifications. Okay, what the number is and where, what agencies they're coming from. And the reason you do that is if I'm Caltrans, I'm going to look you up in my database of disadvantaged business enterprise of 46068. And hopefully I'm going to find you there. Okay, that's why you give it. Okay. The one thing I've learned in Cali Procure is if I've got your name and I've got your supplier ID number, if I put in your supplier ID number, 100% of the time I'll find it. If I put your name in, sometimes it doesn't, it says no record. Okay, but guaranteed your supplier ID number will. Okay, so the moral of that story, memorize your supplier ID number, right? Anyway, so I've given you a capability statement. I am offering my services. You have my email, which will be at the end again. Send me a copy of your statement and I'll rip you. And I will help you correct those errors. Okay, I'll do it for free, just like the SBDC will also. Okay, and what I tell people to do is let them do it and correct it, then send it to me. Okay, because she is doing it for universal means, and I'm doing it for the state with universal situations here. But to get 2 points of view can't hurt. Before I talk about reciprocity, I want to give you the 30-second elevator speech. When you're talking to these advocates, 4 items. Number 1, your full name. Number 2, your company name. Number 3, your supplier ID number. And number 4, what you're selling. Here's the gotcha. You have 30 seconds. That's it. These advocates are waiting for you to give them that information. They are all told when that phone rings, you assume it's you calling them to give them the 30-second elevator speech. And it would go something like this. Good afternoon. My name is Wayne Groth. I'm with ABC Fence Company. I'm certified as a small business and disabled veteran. My supplier ID number is 2024931. And I build fences, be it chain link, cement block, or wood. Can you help me? It was short, sweet, and to the point. Okay. You notice that I did slow down a little bit when I gave her my supplier ID number. Why? Because hopefully the next thing you hear is click, 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 click on her computer. she's pulling up my profile. Okay. And the biggest complaint I hear is I called, I've got this list. I called the first 10 people and I got one response. They picked up the phone. Okay. Well, we're all busy. Okay. What I tell people is don't waste your time. You tell that person, you give them your 30-second elevator speech and you say, I have your email. Please check it. I sent you my capability statement. Would you have the kindness of reviewing it and getting back to me so we can discuss it? That's all you can do. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you that District, 10 Caltrans hasn't called and they'll never pick up their phone, whatever, I have no control of that. But an email, that's another thing too. And if you have Outlook, okay, you have options that are all private to you, that the email was received, right, by the recipient. And then the other one is they opened it, okay? That gives you a clue, especially if you happen to be in front of your computer and you get that email that they opened it. I immediately get on the phone and because, they're in front of their computer, okay? These are just little lessons learned, okay? Next are our reciprocity partners. These are agencies throughout the state that honor the small business and or DVBE certifications. And if we go to Cali Procure and on the bottom right, we click for find training and resources. And go down to the 6th heading, resources to grow your business. And the first bullet says, leverage your state certifications for local contract opportunities. And here is the list of reciprocity partners. And it gives you, it starts out in the Bay Area and it has the agency with a line under it. That line means it's going to take you to their registration page. And then it tells you what type of certifications that they honor. Now, I'm going to skip to the second arrow because San Mateo County Libraries is our newest reciprocity partner. It's like a month old. Okay, so anyway, this is a growing list. I'm the reciprocity guru, if you will, for the state. I've been doing this for 14 years, and to try and get agencies to become reciprocity partners is like pulling teeth, And the thing is, you have to have a small business for a DVB program, and then you have to have them signing a memorandum of understanding. So, getting back on the first one, which is BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, and so I'll show you how easy this can be. If you want to do business with BART, it says here, register to do business with BART, new user, and you click the green register button. It takes you to their online application. And then what happens is you go and you get registered. You probably get a certification number. That number identifies you in their database. And then you start getting solicitations from BART. Okay. Now, 2 things. Number 1, start an Excel spreadsheet of reciprocity partners. Go back to BART on their homepage, put in either procurement or contracts, and it will take you to their contract section, and you should be able to find the buyer's name, phone number, and email. Okay. So you get this new list of contacts, right? And so you contact BART. Hi, my name is Wayne Gross. I'm with ABC Fence Company. My BART supplier number is blah, 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 blah. And I build fences, be it chain link, cement block, or wood. Can you help me? Do you see how that 30-second elevator speech is universal? Okay, with not only state agencies, but all your reciprocity partners. Now, That supplier ID number needs to go 3 places. Do you remember? First place, your email, signature block. Second is your website. And third is your capability statement. This all ties together, okay? It's all about marketing. You go to a Caltrans event in May of this year for District 8, hopefully. Yeah, and you have your capability statement, and you have both reciprocity partners there as well as state agencies. You have your capability statement and you hand it to them, okay? Introduce yourself, become friends with them. You want to become what I call professional stalkers, if you will, you know? But what I mean by that is, you know, you go to a couple events that you've seen, District 8, Caltrans, okay? And then you go to another one and she recognizes you. Oh no, Wayne's here again, you know? Not what you know, but who you know, okay? That's all this is about. Anyway, so here is Northern California, Sacramento area, Los Angeles, San Diego, statewide. Getting all caught up here. And finally, the utilities. And it says here, utility companies are not reciprocity partners. However, they do honor the DVBE certification. Once you get certified with DGS as a DVBE, you are automatically put into the California Public Utility Commission's database. Okay, I tell people to check your account there, okay, for your contact information, that it's current, and your federal employer ID number, your FEAN, okay? Now, you'll notice that I've arrowed a couple companies. This is just a list, a couple of them. They're brand new, they're electric companies. They were added to the utilities companies, okay? So once you hit learn more, it takes you to the supplier clearinghouse. And so if you are woman, minority, LGBTQ+, and people with disabilities, you can get certified as a disadvantaged business enterprise. The same certification that Caltrans does, okay? But as you found out through the SBDC, that there are 3 types. So you got to figure out which one is that you can use, okay? And has here, do I qualify? So that will alleviate, hopefully, the call to you, Karla. So, but anyway, as you scroll down, it has applying for the certification, looking at the certification directory. There is bids. You can see what's actually open and all this information that if you decide you want to go this way, that you went from 29 to 43, 44 new companies on that utilities list. Okay, the next thing is our emergency contracting. Because of the California fires and COVID, we didn't meet 2 years ago our small business and DVBE goals. Okay, we spent 21 million. We did, I believe, around 14% for small business and 2.2% for DVBEs. Okay, this year, it's not official yet, but I've been told, a little birdie told me that we did meet our goals, but you didn't hear that from me. Okay, but part of the reason that we did is because of this emergency database. We started out with 15 different categories. We are now up to 30. Okay, so if you meet one of those, okay, you can, and you're certified, you can get registered into this database. It's a separate database from Cali Procure. Okay, and so I like to use the KISS principle one more time. Keep it simple, stupid. Here's all you need to know: your certification number, the emergency categories that apply to you, your description of products and services, your business address, and your contact information, your primary and emergency after hours. It's that simple. Excuse me. Once you hit submit, you will not get congratulations. One of my peers has to review it, and they have up to 48 hours to review it to see if you qualify. If you do qualify, they will send you an email saying, congratulations, you are in the database. So if you go to Cali Procure, scroll down to the 4 boxes, the bottom right one, find training and resources. The 4th heading, inside state contracting, the 3rd bullet is our link to the emergency database. And you'll notice on the left side, the first box is your registration. You click that and fill out the application. The one under it in blue is for buyers. For the buyers to access the database where you're listed, they have to be registered also. Okay. And last year we did 1.5 million in emergency contract through this system. And so this gives you all the information that you need to do that. Next, we have CUF, commercially useful function. And to perform CUF, you must be executing a distinct element of the work, performing, managing, or supervising the work. Perform work that is normal to the firm's business services and functions, negotiating price, determining quality and quantity, ordering, installing, and making payment, and not subcontracting a portion of the work greater than expected by industry practices. You are not performing CUF if there is an extra participant in a transaction, contract, or a project through which funds are passed in order to obtain the appearance of small business DVB participation. No longer used to perform the work as stipulated in the bid, and no longer used to provide goods or services listed in the initial bid response. We take this very seriously. If you get caught, there are monetary fines, and depending on how many times you get caught, if you got caught 5 times, I believe each one is like 20,000. And that's money out of your pocket, not ours. It could add up to some fortunes that you don't want to do. Next thing is resources, okay? Karla here is with the SBDC. Those are 4 new businesses. They do the consulting, planning, marketing, and access to capital. She talked about the PTACs, the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, and this is for established businesses, and they are great with government contracting. And SCORE, which are for newer businesses, these are retired heads of companies that will do mentorship. Here again, all of this, including the state, is all free. You should never, ever have to pay for anything. And last is, if you were here, you could get a copy of this 1-page link. We used to have, when I'd do an exhibit table, I'd have 20 handouts, okay? Now I have one, this piece of paper. And so if nothing else, below the QR code on the left is www.dgs.ca.gov/ all caps PD-SB-DVBE-resources. Either you could do the QR code or that link, and it will take you to how to do business with the state and all of our links. We are all here to help you. And so in review, we talked about updating and improving your profile. We talked about bid solicitations. Make sure that you are logged on. Reserve past purchases, that's skippers. Your new best friends, the advocates. Your capability statement and your 30-second elevator speech to go with it. The reciprocity partners, agencies throughout the state that honor the small business and DVBEs, emergency contracting, commercially useful function, resources, and our handout. I'm stuck here. I just want to thank you. Again, my name is Wayne Gross. Oh, real quick, if you have a success story, we want to hear about it. And that's our email, businessoutreach@dgs.ca.gov. And I will let Karla take over for here. Thank you again. Okay, Wayne.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you to Wayne, thank you to Rose, big shout out and thank you to Caltrans for being on site. So it's encouraged for you to come here in person so you get these opportunities. Like today, we have Caltrans, you have that opportunity to meet with them. Just been told for our next session on March 15th, we have a special guest invited, Larry Studfield from the SBA, that will be talking about SBA certifications for veterans. So it's encouraged for you to be here and connect with these resources here in person. And as a reminder, we have the 12th annual summit happening in Moreno Valley. If you get 3 of those corporate chips, the ARC will go ahead and cover your expense for your exhibits. If you're streaming online from other states, if you attend all the live streams or watch all the live streams, same offer goes to you. The ARC will also sponsor your booth at that 12th annual summit in Moreno Valley. So with that, I thank you all for coming. I thank you, Wayne, thank you, Rose, and thank you, Caltrans, and thank you to our sponsor, ARC, for this awesome event. And we'll see you next month for number 3.